My Jenkins. Meanwhile, I connect to this instance. Any questions from anyone? So I have connected to my Jenkins server and started Jenkins. But before going to Jenkins, today let's focus on creating build test jobs through Maven. So let's focus on getting an understanding on Maven before doing any hands-on. This is the pipeline we are going to create. Okay, we are going to create a pipeline with the different stages as compile. Means whenever developer make a change, I want to pull the code and compile it, unit test it, package it. These are the different stages I need. Before we talk about how to create them, let's first understand what is meant by compiling the code. This is the pipeline we are going to create. It should compile, trigger the next job, unit test should trigger package, and then deploy. We'll talk about deploy in a while, but what is meant by compiling? And we have a Java code. We are going to execute this on a project available on GitHub, which is a Java source code. So what compilation should do? Convert the source code into executable code, right? That's what it does. Unit test means the first or the fundamental level of testing, which is done at developers end. Developers also test their code themselves. Whenever they write the code, they will test they'll test the code themselves to check whether it is meeting the expectations, whether it is executing as per the requirement. Like they'll test the individual independent programs will be tested in unit testing, right? Wherein they'll write the test cases, which is unit testing. Packaging, converting all the source code, all the executables into a single deployable file. Single ready to be deployable file will be created, which is a var or a jar or ER format, right? These are the different stages you have in your pipeline. So how do you do this? How do you compile? How do you unit test or package? So also, how many times in a day you have to do this? Is it once or twice, or how many times we have to do this? We have to do this n number of times in a day, right? So whenever there's a commit, this process should repeat. So it should be automated. It should be executed whenever there's a commit. So we will use something called build automation tool. Build automation tool means it can execute different stages in your SDLC, like compiling, testing, packaging, reporting, cleaning, many things it can do, out of which we are using this. So a build automation tool can be used, which can help you execute different phases in your phases in the SDLC. right? And which build automation tool? It's a developer call. Developer will decide. It's a developer tool. They will decide which build automation tool to use. In our case, the developers have chosen Maven. According to the build automation tool, they will write a build file. For Maven, it's a form.xml, project object model. So whenever means developers will choose a build automation tool, according to the build automation tool, they'll create a build file. Every build automation tool will use a build file. Like in this case, Maven uses pom.xml, right? So they'll use this pom.xml. In this pom.xml, all the project configurations would be kept, right? So it means where is this form file again? Along with the source code, they'll also place it on the repo. Also, developers will write the unit test case. Even unit test case are present here. Now, we'll use Maven to do this. How Maven works? We'll run a command like Maven compile. Whenever you run, like you have Git or anything, install Maven also on the server on your EC2 instance and run this command. Whenever you run any Maven command, it will go to the POM file. Maven is like a heart for Maven, right? And it will get all the information of the project, all the plugin information. Plugins will be configured here, right? Means every task will done by a plugin. Compile is also done by a plugin. So it will download the plugin from the Maven central repository over the internet and it executes this task. Same is the case with a test task. Let's say we want to do some testing. There's a command called mvn test and so on. Every task means every task will be executed by this commands. This is called goal or target in Maven. Goal or target varies with the plugin configured. Means, let's suppose if you want to test, there were so many plugins for that. Which plugin to use will be decided by developers. Those plugins will be configured in the Maven. Let's say they have configured plugin A. Goal might be A. If they have configured plugin B, goal might be B. Means your goal depends on the plugin. This is the goal I told you, right? So this varies according to the plugin used. So which plugins to be used, what is the goal, developers will have to share with the DevOps team if they were creating this. Accordingly, every Maven command will go to the POM file, downloads the plugins, downloads the dependencies from the Maven central repository and executes it, right? This is how Maven works. Any questions from anyone? We are going to install it and first let's do this. Then we'll talk about creating a Maven job in Jenkins. Is this much clear? This is what you should know from DevOps perspective. It could be any tool. Tomorrow, let's say it's an Ant tool. Ant tool also will have a build file. Developers will configure it and you will be given the Ant commands to configure in the job. Is this much clear for all? Any questions from anyone?
Yes, Preethi, good morning. I have a question that which type of application Maven can compile and test?
Java applications it can compile.
Only the Java.
Yeah.
If suppose an application developed in PHP or .NET.
There are different build automation tools. That's why I just mentioned if it is Ant, it will have a separate build file. Accordingly, the concepts would be similar. It will have the project dependencies, all the other information in the build file. It will fetch them from the Maven central repositories or whatever the repositories and it executes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You don't need to learn the build automation tool separately. Like I said, it's a developer tool. As a DevOps person, you should have this kind of understanding, which is enough for you to execute. And by the way, Maven is a product of Apache. Tell me.
Yeah, sorry, Preethi, like in the general industry scenarios, right? Most of the application built by Java or .NET or anything, because these days we are generally seeing the microservices and the different approaches, right? What all build tools generally they're using? Which technologies in real time they're using?
Architecture. Sorry. Architecture is different from technology, okay? It's not that I cannot generalize or I cannot give you a statement like, okay, .NET is used more, Java is used more. There are hundreds of programming languages which are used in real practice, and the technology is irrespective of the architecture. Microservice architecture is irrespective of whether it is in Java or Go or PHP. It could be anything. Architecture doesn't depend on the programming language used. So don't club microservices with a programming language. And in real time, it could be any programming language. And microservices could be implemented for any sort of languages. Any more questions? So now what we'll do is we'll install Maven and we'll see how to build the project. And this is the project we are going to use. Right? You could just fork it. Like I have discussed about fork earlier, you can go to this link and fork it. You can just go to GitHub, search with Preethi D repositories. And in this repositories, you could see address book v1. You could fork it. Right? This is the one we are going to use. Now, if you see, like I told you, right, this is the source code developers have given. Please listen here carefully. Later on, I wouldn't like to have the questions of where are the test cases, where is the code. This is the code written by developers in the SRC folder. Main, you have the Java code. If you see here, .java files, right? There is a lot of code here. .java files. This is all the source code written by developers. And there will be unit testing, right? The fundamental or the first level of testing a developer sent. They could also have it automated, and those test cases are present in the test folder. Right? .java files. These are the test cases. If anyone into Java or testing, you might understand, you might have get some understanding. See, these are all the different test cases, but it's not our duty, our DevOps role. Just you have to understand, yes, source code is present here, test case are present here, build file, which is the POM file is present here. It's an XML. You don't need to learn it or write it again, but here are the few parameters like group ID, which is important to know, like the project can be grouped under this ID, artifact ID, what should be the artifact generated package, which type of format, right? Where format. So all of that will be here. Even the plugins will be configured here. Like compilation, there is a plugin. See, dependencies are there. Maven is not just a build automation tool. It can also help manage the dependencies. And yes, see, plugins are configured here. These plugins will be downloaded from the Maven central repository, Maven compiler plugin. Similarly for testing something and similarly for artifact generation, Surefire plugin for report generation, right? All of those are configured. See, right? How to write it was also simple, but it is beyond DevOps scope. You don't need to learn it, but if you are interested, I can show you how they write it. It's not so complex as it is looking. Maven compiler plugin. Okay, you will get the Maven official website, and here will be the usage. See, this is what they have placed. Do you see the same thing? Let me go again for compile.
Sorry, I have a question. Who is responsible to write this file? Developer.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
See here, plugin information, the same as this one. Of course, different versions. It's 3.13 now. Earlier, it is configured at 3.2. But yeah, the just an idea. Okay, that's how POM files will be generated. You would not be into it. So that's beyond your scope. Just understand source code is there, test case are there, POM file is present here. Okay. Now, okay, let us build the code using Maven. First of all, Maven should be there. First, let's connect to the server again. Like any other tool, first learn Maven. Maven is not present. How to install Maven? This is also Java-based application. Anyway, Java is installed on my system. So we could install Maven with yum install Maven. That should install Maven. Okay, now you can see Maven is installed. MVN version will show you all the details. Perfect. Okay, now I want to compile the code. What should I do? I want to compile the code. My code is present on GitHub. So how to get the code and how to compile it? How to get this code? Can anyone help me to get this code and compile?
Git clone.
This is where you have the code. Ignore other files. Okay, we have got the source folder and the perm file. That's important. These two are required. Okay, or else let me just do one thing. I just want to show you the actual code. Initially, you wouldn't have this. These are unnecessary files actually. This is used by and we are not using it. So okay, only this is what you have. The source code, some screenshot for address book application, how it would look like. And that's all. Okay, now I'll just do a clone again. What is the branch name? Maven demo. Okay, so this is all you have. This POM file and the source file are important to build the project, right? And now let me run the command mvn compile. Goal is compile. Right? So if you run the compile, it's downloading from the Maven central repository. Do you see that? Right? repo.maven.apache. It's downloading from the Maven central repository over the internet. It will download all the plugins, everything needed to compile, and it will do the compile. Let's wait. Do you see here compiling 13 files into this location? There is a default location called target folder will be created for the output. If you do ls, you can see all the output is placed here. I'll show you the output. Before that, I would like to show you one more interesting thing. It took 54 seconds. I will rebuild it. Will it also take 54 seconds? See, it is not re-downloading. Do you see that? If it has once downloaded, it will use the plugins from the cache. It will not re-download, and it took 1 second. Means if you are rebuilding using Maven, it definitely saves a lot of time. By the way, where is that local cache? There will be a .m2 folder in the home directory of the user, automatically created. Do you see M2? This is where all the plugins would be configured. This M2 directory will be created in the home directory of the user. I'm running it as a root. So in the home directory, you have M2. That's called local cache. Again, I'm going back. Sorry. Go to the project. Now let me show you the compiled classes. Classes. Com. There are subfolders, utilities. Yeah. Do you see .class files? Those are the executables and binaries I'm talking about. Whenever you compile, the .java files will be converted to .class files. It has used plugins at the backend. Those plugins are configured here. It will download the plugins and executes the task. Are we clear? Understood the whole cycle?
Yes.
Any questions from anyone? Now, what next? Okay, compilation. After that, what do we need?
State.
Packaging.
Test, right? So that it will execute the unit test. So let's run. Again, it will download the plugins for testing and it will execute the test case. Remember, Maven is not testing. Test case are already written. I have shown you, right? And they have used JMeter here. So those JMeter test case will be executed here and it says 23 test case executed. Build successful. Perfect. And if you rerun it, obviously it will take less time. It took 6 seconds earlier. Now it may take 3 seconds, right? Okay, perfect. And has it generated any reports? Yes, let's check in the target folder. Yes. Do you see Surefire reports? Surefire report plugin is used to call those test cases. Okay, so Surefire reports were generated. And see, these are all the different XML or text-based reports. Reports are generated in multiple formats like text-based and XML. Same report. See, the same report generator means that's how the JUnit is configured. It's not Maven is generating it. JUnit is generating it. Text-based as well as XML format of the report. See, XML report or the text report. This is the text report. This is the XML report. This is how reports are generated. Perfect, right? So testing is also done. What next?
Package.
Yes. Let's do packaging. And remember, always you should run Maven commands from the location of POM file. If you run anywhere else, see, let's say if I run here, there is no POM file. See, failure. The goal you specified, there is no POM in this directory, right? So make sure you're running it from the location of POM file. And for packaging, the goal is MEN package. It failed. I'll talk about this in a while. Before that, if you notice, whenever you run package, previous stages are also executed if you see. Means Maven works in a way that even the previous stages will be executed. It's a life cycle and compile, test, these are all different stages. So whenever you execute a higher stage, the lower stages also gets executed, right? And somehow this failed. Before fixing this issue, you have to understand, yes, the previous stages will be executed, right? And whenever you do MEN package, it's failing saying that execute this goal. And it says due to an API incompatibility, it's very clearly telling you API incompatibility. It could be the Maven plugin 2.1.1 is not compatible with the Java version we are using. You have to upgrade your Java version. It's a Java 17, maybe you have to upgrade, or else actually it's an old plugin used. So you may have to downgrade or upgrade the version of your plugin. See, there is a var plugin used 2.11. Let's try to update this. Let me check the var plugin. You could update your Java. Java 8 will work. Java 8 is compatible with that old plugin. You could go with the Java old one, or else let me search with var plugin. So that I would configure it to the latest and we'll see if it works. Var plugin. This is the plugin used, right? So 3.maven var plugin 3.4 is the latest version. Let me check which plugin is used here. There is no plugin configured.
2.0, no? Version.
Yes, yes. This is the Maven site plugin. This is the plugin used, which is used for Maven site plugin, which is used for generating the code. This is the version. Let me check with the site plugin. Here is the site plugin. What it does also, the site plugin is to generate a site for the project. This generated site also includes project reports that were configured in the form. Site deploy, site run. The goal we are using is package.
3.21.
Let me see the usage. Where is generating a site, deploying a published site?
Version is already mentioned on the right top.
Where is it? 3.21. Okay. Yeah, we could use that. Actually, earlier I used to change this Java to 8, but let me try this. See, again, this is not our call. It's not a DevOps person who fixes this. What I am doing is not DevOps person's task. I'm just going a step ahead and doing this. You don't need to do this actually. 3.21, let me use it.
Okay, but during this process, if I got this error message, then who will resolve it? Developers.
We will not run on the local machine, right? We'll run it in a Jenkins file. And when we get a job fail, that will be sent to developers who have to fix it.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Where is it? I'm not seeing even one thing. Okay. All right. Maven site plugin is 3.3. Earlier, I saw it as 2.21. Just a second. Two dot two one. Some time back, I saw a different error. Sorry, 2.21.1. 2.1.1. So here we should be using 3.21.1. Okay. Let me try this. I'm not sure it will work because see, which plugin to use, they have to decide, right? It's not me who will decide. They have to see their compatibility. They have to check the application code and they have to use it. 3.21.1, correct? Three dot 21.1. Sorry, 21.0, right? Hmm. Now let me try to pull that latest code. Now it should be updated, so I'm running this command again. Let's see. Still API incompatibility. Why it is using Maven jar? Oh, Maven jar is not anyway updated. Site plugin is updated. Maven jar plugin is which is giving error. Anyway, we'll update the Java. Okay, Java versions, alternatives. Java 11, Java 17 were there. Let me try with Java 11. I made the default selection as 1 so that it should be used. Still error. We'll do one thing. Java 11 should be working is what I'm thinking. I could set Java home with this so that it will use this Java. I should copy from here the path till bin. Let's go to HC profile and set Java home variable. This is like setting environment variables in Windows. You might have set environment variables in Windows, right? The same thing. Export Java home so that application knows which Java to use. Also export the path variable. Path variable would be pending with this, right? So let me set this also. It should be set with Java home and bin. Right? For the path variables to get updated, source HC profile. Now it should be updated. I could see the variable Java home. Right, done. Let me try echo command, MVN package command now. Java 11 or Java 8 should be compatible as far as I remember. Do you see? It's successful now. It's using Java 11 and here you can see package is created in target folder. This is the var file generated. The output you could see here. Go to target. All the output would be in the target. See, this is the one. Finally, you got the var file. Do you remember we have taken some sample var file, right? Sample var file from the URL and then used it to deploy in the Tomcat. Do you remember that? So
Yeah,
that's
yes,
what,
Preethi.
yeah, that's what we did here. Just upgrading Java worked. And if you want, this is the Java which is compatible with your application. Any questions from anyone? Is this much clear for all of you?
So generally, we just get a var file and we deploy it, right? We don't require to bother about all these things.
We will create these jobs. You have to create these jobs in Jenkins, right? When you get an error, you send to them. And where file is generated, you will be responsible to create all these jobs. MVN compile job, test job. You should be
Uh,
creating all of this.
I have one question. If we directly run this package, because it's already first compiling, then testing, then creating that var file.
Hmm.
So if we can skip the first two, I mean compiling and we test run, and
You
we can
can, right?
directly
Like I
run.
told you, whenever you are executing a particular stage, previous phases are executed. See, it's already executing this. You could skip and also do it, but to have a
Okay.
more micromanagement on each stage, you could do it separately, or else one task also will do.
Okay.
Right, these are the major stages or the main stages. Particularly package is a mandatory stage. It's not mandatory you should do compile separately or test cases like this, but package is mandatory, like very important one where you get the artifact generated. Not only this, Maven can help you to do code review, code coverage analysis. What is meant by code review? All of this can be done. Code review means it will check whether the code is as per the standards, as per the norms, whether it is following all the syntax standards, all of that will be done and the reports will be generated to developers. They could check that. Similarly, it could do code coverage analysis. Code coverage means how much of your code written. Let's say developers have written 100 lines of code. Out of this, how much it is tested? Let's say only 50 lines is tested, means 50% testing is done, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
all of that can be done. How is it, how it will do? Is Maven doing it? Like likewise, see, you can't learn all these stages. Scanning, you can do lot many things. It's not that a person, a DevOps person will sit and learn all of that. You should have an idea. That's what I'm trying to give. Code review can be done, code coverage can be done, code scan can be done. Lot of things can be done with Maven. It doesn't mean that Maven is doing it. Like compile is done by some plugin, package is done by some plugin. There are hundreds of plugins for code review. One such is PMD, find bugs, mistake detector. These are all the different plugin names. Even you don't need to know it also. It's a developer call. There will be so many plugins. Depending on it, they'll choose. Similarly, for code coverage, you have Sonar Cube, right? You have something like Cobertura. So many are there. So developers will choose which plugin to use, and that plugin should be configured first. Then only you can do code review. Let's say, okay, I'm a DevOps person. I want to do a code review stage with PMD. You can't do it unless the POM file is configured.
Got it.
See here, Apache Maven PMD plugin. Usage, like I have shown you. See, this should be placed in the POM file, right? This should be placed. Okay, fine. What are the goals? Developers will know. Let's suppose I want to go a step ahead out of box and I just want to see. See, this is how another PMD file should be created. And that's a different story again, right? Also here, there'll be some clues. Rule set. They'll create a rule set. Okay, where what program mistake detector means it will detect the syntax errors, when it should show, like what errors it should show, kind of. See, right? You have to, developers will create this rule set. You, in the sense, whoever is configuring it, they will work on this rule set and create it. There were different types of goals. Goals. Yeah. See, it's not a single goal. Each plugin offers multiple goals. PMD colon aggregate CPD means it does this one. Colon aggregate CPD check means it does this. So lot many things are here, out of which I can use it. You can use anything, but what is the criteria? It should be configured. Is it configured in your, have developers configured it? Please keep muted. Please keep muted. PMD plugin, right? Maven PMD, yes, they have configured it. It is beyond our scope, but yes, they have configured it. Means they can use any of these goals. Like I told you, developer will give you the goal. This is how they'll give. Even they are not creating on their own. If the plugin offers these goals. So If you want code review, what I can do is please keep muted everyone. I'll take a question from the right. I'm having some background noise. Please keep muted. Requesting all of you to please keep your mics muted. Thank you. MVN, PMD : PMD. It will do the code review. Do you see it is in downloading some plugins? But these are all optional. It's not that every project uses PMD, or else it's mandatory you should do code review. Some projects go through the code review, some projects may not. Some project uses PMD, some of them may use find bugs. It's not that you sit and learn all those plugins and all. No, even developers doesn't know all of that plugins. This is how they do. Also, it might be generating some reports. Yeah, pmd.xml is the report. Okay. Okay, let me go to pmd. Rule set. All of that were here. I want to see. See, a kind of report. Do you see that? Right? See, if you go here, error prone com Preethi DevOps tutorials address book, there is avoid empty catch blocks. Do you see that? Some suggestions, because it has reviewed the code and it is providing some suggestions. Useless parentheses, avoid empty catch blocks. If your developer will understand this, but just understand it's providing some suggestions. Private methods, okay, for avoid empty finally blocks, avoid empty, some suggestions it's providing, but it will not fail it. It's just a review step. Developers, if you see they are valid, they may make the corrections and make their code follow the standards. Am I clear?
Yes.
Similarly, code coverage, they might be using SonarQube. So many are there. If you type in code coverage plugins for Maven, how to generate Jacob Maven plugin. These are all different plugins. I'm showing you something else. I just want to show you the list. Code coverage plugins list. Okay. There are no list of it. Okay, one such is Jacoco plugin, Kobachra plugin, so many are there. List of. This is what I want to show you. Got it? It's not Maven which is doing code coverage. Through Maven, you will do it. This is all not your task, but just going beyond. See here. Clover, Kobachra, do you see? One is Jacoco plugin or Kobachra plugin or Clover, right? Or else a SonarQube. Different plugins, or Jenkins itself has got some plugin, Xcode and so on. Those plugins should be configured in your Maven. So have they configured anything? Let me check. See, they have configured Kobachra. Understood? Because they have configured it, what I should do? I should use Kobachra goals. Am I correct? So, Kobachra Maven plugin. See, it's from it's from separate provider vendor, I believe, code horse and goals. See, like you have PMD goals, these are all the different goals you can use. Kobachra, Kobachra. It is instrument the compile classes, run the unit test and generate a Kobachra report. Right? Means how much coverage is done. Okay, you have executed test cases. Those test cases are covering how much of the developer's code. Right? Coverage analysis. If you go through, have I closed it? Okay. So what code coverage does, if you want to read more, yes, here are the references. Jacoco, what it does. Kobachra is the best code coverage tool for Java and integrates with Maven and NAND. Java developers widely adopted due to its simplicity, comprehensive, supports code coverage with source code, integrates with testing framework, JUnit and all. HTML, XML reports could be generated. Cons, no built-in debug option. There's no debug. That's beyond for us. But yes, our developers have configured it. Let me try using some goal. MVN Kobachra column. You can choose any different plugins as well. Okay, it has done. It is failure. Do you know why it is failure? Failed to execute this execution default could not be resolved, could not find the artifact. One second. It's giving some error, failed to execute. Dependencies could not be resolved, could not find the artifact. Some issue with other dependency plugins. Otherwise, it would have executed it and you would see how much of reporting is done. But I believe you got the whole point, right? It's not that you should know Kovacs or PMD. You should know the flow, the concept. Like this is how it's a plugin based framework. Maven depends on the plugins. Those plugins should be configured in the POM, and accordingly the goals. There are a set of goals for each plugin. As per the requirement, we'll write that MVN goal. This is the whole point you should know. Is this much clear for everyone? Any questions from anyone in this part?
No, yes, clear.
And it could generate reports in two format, HTML and XML, but somehow this is not compatible with other plugins and it's not working. See, this group ID is coming from this code house. Check style is another plugin. But anyway, anyhow, you got an idea, right? So, okay, fine. I know I now learned Maven how to use it. How many times I should run MV and compile? Should I sit here and keep running it whenever there's a commit? Should I do this? How do we automate? Like whenever there's a commit, it should run compile or test, whatever. That's where Jenkins comes in, right? We'll create a Jenkins job, which will pull the code and compile it or test it and so on. Now let us go to Jenkins. By the way, what we need to do you remember? There's a problem starting Jenkins. We have to do one thing if you remember. Jenkins dot model Jenkins configuration. I replace the ID or else I get one idea. Let me try. Okay, I just deleted everything. If I change it, I should keep on changing it. I just want to try deleting the content over there. We'll see how it works. I restarted, let's see. Otherwise, I should keep on changing each time I start Jenkins. My IP will be different. I should go on changing it. I just tried removing it. Yeah, it's working. Okay, rather than changing it, just remove the content of the file and save it. That should be fine. Okay, don't change the IP, rather remove the content. All right, so let me create a job here. I will create a job as compile the real job. Freestyle for now. Go ahead and get the repository URL. You know by now, right? How to get the repository, how to connect with it from the Jenkins job. Get the URL. Get the repository. It will clone into its workspace, correct? But the branch name by default is Maven. Master, I want to work it with Maven demo branch. Now, this is what we should do. Earlier, we haven't done this because we did not learn that. Now it should use it. But before going for this, now if Jenkins is running this Memby and compile, what are all the tools it needs? Or else, wherever let's say on my laptop, I want to run MVN compile. What are all the tools we need? Correct? Git to clone the repository and compile the code. These three tools should be installed on wherever, on whatever server you are running MVN compile. So now also Jenkins, for our learning purpose, I have installed all of them manually. But in reality, these tools will not be there, right, by default. So is there any option we could auto install? That's where comes, if you go to manage Jenkins, that's where comes this tool under manage Jenkins. Configure tools, add JDK, give some name, my Java, right? You could select install automatically, add installer and install it, right? Or else if you already have Java here, you could also use it. I already have installed it, right? This is a way to tell Jenkins to use the tools from these locations. It's not taking this. Anyway, I'm just leaving Java. Git default git from the server. If already there on the server, it will use it. Suppose if you want to use some other Maven by automatic installer, right? I'm choosing this automatic installer, the latest version, right? It will install in a different location and your job will use this Maven to compile, not the Maven which you have installed manually. Means you could either install manually and use it, but that's not in reality. You could also use this global tools this way. Save it. Now let me go here. I did not complete this job yet. Here you could choose. Now it will show you different Maven installers, whichever you have configured. And the goal. If you write the goal as compile, at the backend it will run MVN compile. That's all. I'll show you again. I have just configured two things. Source code management with the right branch you want to compile, and then the compile code. Let's build it. Later I'll add the triggers and all. For now, I'm building manually. Where it will install the tool, let's see. Console output. See, do you see here? Okay, let it finish.
It finished.
If you just scroll up. See here. Unpacking Maven 9.9. Into which location it has installed into home directory tools folder is generated. Earlier we don't have it. Now here tools folder is generated where it has created this folder, given the name we have given, and this is where it has installed. Yeah, do you see lib bin and all? From here it has used this Maven. How do you know? See here. It's running Maven commands using this Maven. Do you see that? Anyway, it has compiled and it is successful. It shows target. Target is where it is in the workspace now, right? Earlier we did on a server directly, but now it would be under workspace. Workspace, compile. So target, if you take classes, same like earlier in the target, you will have this. Understood? All the dot class files. You could also check, if you remember, by now you should be well versed. You could also check your workspace here. See, target. all the dot class files there with the timestamp. Clear everyone? If you build again the same, but it would work in a work faster. And you could see, okay, yeah. 5 seconds is the build duration for second run. First run, 31 seconds. Are we good and clear? Similarly, test job and package job. Unit test job. Everything is same. If you know one job, other jobs are similar. Same thing, the repository URL. Sorry. Branch name. Invoke top level Maven targets, the Maven which is installed through automatic installer, and the goal is test. As of now, I'm creating individual jobs. Later on, we'll connect them. Individual independent jobs. Right? By the way, it has also generated the reports you can test from CLI or else here itself. Like we have seen, right? 2 types of reports it will generate. See, all the text-based and XML. Text-based. XML. Both are not so user-friendly. I want to generate a trend report, user-friendly report on this Jenkins console. Is it possible? How to generate a report on this console? What should we do if we need to generate a report on this console? Go to configure. Till now we used source code management section, build steps. There is also post build. Post build means after this is build what you want to do. You may use it for report generation or artifact publication, whatever. Here there is something like publish JUnit test result report. This you are seeing because of the plugin, JUnit plugin installed on Jenkins. If you haven't installed those plugins initially, you might not have seen this. So it's again plugin. It will ask for the path of the raw reports. See, it will take the raw reports and generate the trend report. So where is the raw report? You can get the path from here also. See, this is the path, right? In this again, sorry, this is compile job. Unit test, target, show fire. This is the path, correct? So you have to provide this path, but just copy this. It will not search in the entire path. It will search only under this workspace. So you have to give only the relative path from target. Under this multiple report. So star.xml because there are multiple XML reports. Is this much clear for everyone? Understood this? Let's save this and build it. See, it's executing MVN test and it is using Maven installed in Jenkins, not your Jenkins, your Maven. And it says it's successful because it's a second build. But what is the difference? This is where you can see the difference. Test results. Do you see this report? Each class has got 14 test cases. ASCII conversion has got 4. This has got 5. Total 23 test cases. You could also see here. Do you see this kind of graph? This is what's the trend report. If you want to see a bigger one, see here. How many passed, how many failed, kind of. This kind of trend report is generated. Can you tell me now which tool is generating this trend report? Okay, let me come from the bottom. Which tool is testing actually? These are JUnit test cases, right? So JUnit tool is testing it. Via Maven, we are executing those test cases. That's all. The actual test automation tool is JUnit. Maven is calling or executing those test cases. And JUnit is also generating those reports in XML and text base. Now, which tool is generating this trend report? Jenkins plugin is generating this trend report. This is Jenkins plugin. Publish JUnit test result report. That's a JUnit plugin. Using this, we are generating a report. Clear, everyone understood? Is this much clear? So that's about compile test jobs. If you want code review also, you can include it. Code review. Unit, get the repository URL. PMD column PMD. Code review. See, MVN PMD column PMD is executed at the backend. Build success. So go to workspace. We should see PMD XML, which is the report. Right? We could also pass some arguments to convert it into HTML. It's XML report generated, right? There's an argument with which you can generate HTML. PMD display information fails the will duplicate this compile. Setup plugin, it can also generate output in any of the following format XML. PMD colon PMD. If you go to this goal again, there are different targets. Do you see? See, you can, I think I can use this format. Use property format. Maybe let me try. Maybe I could try first here. MVN PMD colon PMD minus format equal to HTML. It is wrong usage. Hyphen. Okay, these are all the different flags it's showing. That's not the right usage. Output format. It could be changed in the POM file as well. Required parameters, optional parameters. EMD goals for format in HTML report. Hyphen property. I think we should use this way. Hyphen property. Property is not where we use this, but let's try and get format equal to HTML. I'll let you know, okay? But there is a goal which can help you generate a HTML report. But yeah, that's how you can create the jobs. Anyway, it's generated with XML format, code review, and then let's say package. Freestyle, git the repository URL. I did not add the goal. My Maven, and the goal is package. It is executing previous stages. Finally, var file is generated. We could use it for deployment. Target. This is the var file with the system timestamp. That's how Maven works. But these are individual independent jobs. How to connect them, how to create a pipeline and all we have to see. Any questions from anyone in this part?
No, Preethi.
All right then. So that is all I have. And we'll continue from here tomorrow. Do the complete hands-on. And all right then. Thank you all. Good day. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.